Hi everyone, Bandana here. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Hunt Showdown. Today I want to talk all about special ammo types. Now in my getting started guide and the weapons video that I did for new players, I didn't really talk a lot about special ammo. The reason for that is I don't want to overly confuse new players by going, change to this ammo and this ammo and this ammo, because it changes how the weapon behaves and the weapon stats. Some ammo, poison is a good example, doesn't change any of the numbers, but poison ammo behaves differently to normal ammo. It loses its penetration completely, for example. It just shatters on impact. So it's something you've got to learn to play with, because it will change how you can interact in a fight. If someone's in a building and you'd normally ping a shot through a piece of wood, you can't do that with poison ammo. And equally, if you switch to other types of ammo like full metal jacket, then your velocity is going to drop. So there's lots of things to take into consideration, and today I want to talk about that, and we'll go and have a look at some of them in the shooting range, because some ammo types are quite fun, especially when it comes to the bows and arrows and the crossbow, and the Bomblance probably as well. Bomblance is a completely different kettle of fish. Let's just start with something simple. So in my other video, we were using the Ranger 73. And the reason I suggested that is because it's just a very good getting started gun. Nice and cheap. And then you have options for ammo. So special ammo is great, but some of it is very situational. Some of it depends on playstyle. Full metal jacket, great. Isn't changing your damage, does change your drop range. So that's the distance in meters at which a projectile drops roughly a head's height. So after 120 meters, you're definitely going to be needing to aim above the head. And you'll see it also drops your muzzle velocity from 400 to 330. Otherwise, it doesn't change very much. High velocity ammo has the opposite effect, at least when it comes to the muzzle velocity. That goes up to 500 from 400. And your damage still drops to 104 from 110. Not a big difference. Not a big difference. 2 shots is still going to kill. Incendiary ammo doesn't change anything in terms of the stats here. It just sets stuff on fire, and obviously has a visible tracer. Now bear in mind that when it comes to setting things on fire, namely hunters, the range matters. So if you're very far away with compact ammo, which you have in the Ranger, then you're not going to set people on fire. And then you got poison ammo, which again doesn't change any of the stats here, but can't penetrate at all. It just shatters. Handy to do though, because you can stop someone from healing. You can have poison on one weapon, stop them from healing, and charge them with another weapon while they're panicking. Poison's quite fun for that. So, fairly straightforward in terms of the ammo types you get with that gun. There are other ammo types, of course. Dum Dum, which you get with the plaques here. Dum Dum is a great ammo type. I love Dum Dum. This makes people bleed. I think in real life you might call it a hollow point bullet, where the idea is the bullet splits apart inside you and causes damage. Causes some rending, that's bleed. Different weapons will give different levels of bleed. So a Springfield, one of my favourite guns, gives intense bleeding. And obviously you can bleed out pretty quickly, so handy one to have. You'll notice that it does change stats a little bit here for this pistol. You do get a drop in the drop range, and you also get a drop in the muzzle velocity. Not a massive amount, but just to be aware of. Same with the other ammo types here as well. You'll notice that there are just some adjustments. High velocity, drop range actually goes up here, as does the muzzle velocity. It will depend weapon to weapon, the true effect, so you kind of need to have a look at the weapons. So another type of ammo that you won't find on many guns is Spitzer ammo. So Spitzer rounds revolutionize ballistic rifles, improving both penetration and muzzle velocity, though adding slightly stronger recoil. So most of the ammo types, you will notice, don't change your recoil and stuff, but Spitzer does. So to be aware, this will change your vertical recoil. Obviously, massive increase in muzzle velocity for a very expensive price, might I add. Drop in damage, though, and a slight increase in drop range. But what you're looking at here is that vertical recoil goes up to 13, and the muzzle velocity is very nice. Damage does go down. And if I find my Old Tusk here, I love an Old Tusk, that's my Springfield. These guys get explosive ammo. And again, you'll notice drop in velocity, change in damage, change in the drop range. They're the main things you'll see change, is those three. Obviously vertical recoil from time to time. It won't affect any of the other numbers. Explosive ammo does what it says in the tin, it explodes. Shotguns, bit of a different kettle of fish. You start with your buckshot, which is your multiple pellets. I believe it's between 12 and 14 pellets. I did some extensive testing about a year and a half ago, firing at walls. And the numbers I could count were anywhere between 11 and like 14. So I can't tell you for definite if I was just going crazy at one point, because I had shot so many times at the wall, but it was never consistent. So I couldn't say for certain that I was always getting 14. But you'd assume that the highest number of the set is the maximum you can get. So we'll assume it's about 14. Anyhow, other ammo types include Dragon's Breath, which I wouldn't really recommend as anything more than a meme. It literally is like a little short flamethrower. It is very short range. It's a big, pretty flame, but other than surprising your opponent, it's not amazing. I mean, it does quite a bit of damage if you get it right in their face. That's the beauty of it, but it is very short range. We'll test that one in the shooting range and you'll see. Penny shot, great against mobs. It's not bad against players, to be fair. It does have slightly less damage, you'll see. Not a huge amount of change anywhere else, which is quite nice. Velocity is the same. Slugs, no change really, other than damage does drop to 179. Bear in mind that a slug is like a single bullet, so the penny shot still fires lots of pennies, but the slug is just a single shot. You're going to have to hit with that. If you miss, you miss. And then you got Star Shell, which again is a bit of a meme. Its damage is 1. It flashes. Pretty bright. I mean, again, I'll show you that in the game because it's a bit weird. Fine. There is another type of shotgun ammo. So if I switch to this lovely rifle, you get this thing, flechette. So a flechette is like a load of nails or needles in the shell instead of our little ball bearings, and it makes you bleed. So rending is medium, but it says damage 132, and that's obviously short range. But the beauty of this is, if you've hit someone and done quite a bit of damage with, say, let's say you've got a friend with a Sparks, or you have a Sparks as your main weapon, you do 149 damage getting a chest shot. Let's say you have Quartermaster trait and you switch to a short rifle with flechette, and you pop that off. All you have to do is scratch them with one needle and they're dead. So flechette's quite an interesting choice, and some people have a lot of success with it. My buddy, who I learned to play the game with, who played it for longer than I did, he loves that. So flechette is just another one that can be quite handy. It does make them bleed as well, obviously, so the bleed is quite nice. Okay, so that's sort of your guns and your shotguns. What about bows? So bows have some really fun stuff. concertina arrows. You know those concertina traps and concertina grenades, effectively, you can throw that make a huge bundle of wire? Well, this is that, only fastened onto an arrow. They're really silly. Really, really silly. But they're quite fun. I have taken these because they're quite fun. Frag arrows, exactly what it says in the tin. It's a grenade on an arrow. Again, lots of fun. You'll notice that damage, if you get a direct hit, is reasonably high. Bear in mind that this is variable damage on a bow, by the way, so damage when the weapon is fully charged and an enemy takes a chest shot from 10 meters. Admittedly, you're not necessarily trying to get chest shots with a concertina arrow or a frag arrow. You're trying to, block areas, or, putting that over someone's body so that a teammate can't res them. Frag arrows just to do damage over an area. Pretty scary when those start flying in, by the way. You don't get a lot, but they're pretty damn scary. Do some rending, by the way, the frag arrows, so they'll make you bleed, just as the concertina will. And then you got poison arrows. These are quite fun. They do the maximum damage because they're more of a standard arrow, but they also poison you. They're quite fun. You will want to retrieve these because you don't get many of them. But they're quite handy. Of course, it's not just hunting bows. There is also the crossbow. We'll start with a hand crossbow just because it's here, but I'll have to switch hunters. So, Chaos Bolt. Bit of a meme bolt that. Just makes noise, like the Chaos Bombs. Not sure of the great advantage of taking that. Memes, maybe. Choke Bolt. Pretty handy. Like a choke bomb. Good against the new mini-boss. Dragon Bolt. Fire. Literally, it has a dragon shell in it, look. From the shotguns. Doesn't do a lot of damage. But will set stuff on fire. Creates a jet of flame that explodes on impact. And a poison bolt. Which is a lot like the poison bullets. But it leaves a cloud of poison. So I love the crossbow, personally. Might not be to everyone's taste, but I think it's a really good weapon. Steel bolt. So metal bolts fly faster and truer, making them more accurate at distance, though they trade some of their damaging ability to achieve this accuracy. So muzzle velocity goes up, but they do have slightly less damage. Drop range is still technically instant on a crossbow and a bow, so that's always 0. Vertical recoil also goes up on this one with these steel bolts, but the idea being that it's going to be more accurate at range. Explosive bolts, great fun. Now this isn't a frag, this is explosive, so this is a stick of dynamite. These are great fun. And people don't have panic when this goes off in their face. You can pop it next to them, you fire one of those, and they don't have panic. Great fun. And then a shot bolt, which is a shotgun shell that detonates on impact. I've never really used them very much. I've had a little play around with them, but fun little weapon. Mostly I use the explosive bolts, or the standard bolts. Explosives just a bit of a meme, but quite effective in the grand scheme of things, especially for the shock factor. People aren't expecting you to suddenly pop out and fire that next to them. So there is one other weapon we haven't talked about, and that is the Bomblance. So the Bomblance is exactly what it says in the tin. It is a lance that can be used melee, but it will also fire an explosive lance. Bomb lance. It explodes after a few seconds. Does a lot of damage as well. Look at the size of that. It's like an extreme crossbow bolt. You can also have a Dragon's Breath one. Exactly what it says in the tin. Flames. Steel ball. It's a shotgun round, effectively. It fires a bunch of steel balls. And then a waxed frag charge. An explosive lance with a protective wax coating, ideal for hunting creatures submerged in water. I guess they were aiming that for the crocodile. Or the gator. Rotjaw. But that's the difference. The standard ones don't explode underwater, that one will. Not my choice of weapon. Never had much luck with it, but again, buddy of mine quite likes that. So, that's pretty much all of the special ammo types that we're going to go over. Let's have a look at some of them in the shooting range, because I think it's quite fun just to have a little look at them. Okay. So there are some... oh, we can get penny shot in here. We can get flechette in here. We can get slugs in here. Okay, so we can actually change to some other ammo types as well. That's quite nice. So, what I've got equipped currently... is that's what we currently have equipped anyway. So, that's fine. So, let me show you Dragon's Breath anyway. So, we currently have Dragon's Breath in. Not as interesting when you see it from the perspective of the person here. You'll see it does quite a bit of damage, makes you burn. Obviously at close range, does quite a lot of damage. Obviously at longer distance, 20 meters. Not a huge amount of damage, still sets you on fire though, and the fire's pretty good. If you're on the receiving end of this, it looks a lot better. It's a shame I don't have anyone available right now to shoot it at me. But we'll hit X and we'll switch to the Star Shell. So Star Shell is, well, I'll show you. That's it. It's like a flare. Very bright flare. Shoot in the air. Literally just a flare. But can set stuff on fire, so only does 1 damage, but causes burning. So if you want to do a long range burn of a body, it is an option. I wouldn't recommend bringing them, but it is an option. Let's change to penny shot. So penny shot is quite nice. It also makes a fun noise because you hear the pennies drop everywhere. And you get, you know, decent amount of damage at range for this. Do you notice, by the way, that is still burning there? It's finally gone out. It does last a while. $20 meters, we're not doing as much to a player. Not the best accuracy. Let's hit this on the wall just so I can show you. See the spread on that? And we're at what? 11 meters. So we're not far away. It's not got the best range. If we go back to 17. See, it's all over the place, isn't it? That's not bad. Not terrible. Bit of luck involved. Yeah, 10 meters chest shot. Bit of luck involved, as I say. Now the slug, a little bit more obvious. Slug goes in, aim. You do some damage. Obviously, range is a bit better. It's like just a big bullet. 18 meters was starting to drop off a bit. But, you know, it's more accurate, so we can do some headshots with it. So slugs, if you're accurate and can aim, superb. But in some ways, I always feel it defeats the object of the shotgun, which is I want to blat you in the face with it and fire a load of little balls at you. I mean, personal choice maybe. So the rival, we can do the flechette rounds, which are that. So flechette, maybe a bit situational. I probably wouldn't take it over standard ammo unless you were confident in what you're using it for. Close range, you see, not the same as hitting with, like, at that range, one hit is going to kill with standard ammo, right? And if we just shoot it at the wall, I don't know if this will show up properly. See, it looks pretty accurate, but the damage just isn't there. It's not as much. Headshot. Can still do a headshot with it. But the main thing is, it makes you bleed, so... 90 damage, pretty good hit, 20 bleeding. But even just clipping them with one isn't a bad thing. So let's see if we can clip this guy over here, or this one at the back. 33 damage, still bleeding. So it's not a bad ammo type at all. It's just definitely not my go-to, personally. I'd rather have standard buckshot with my little pellets. Let's grab our trusty crossbow, why not, since it's here. Crossbow bolts. Superb weapon. I love a crossbow. Obviously, bearing in mind that there's a drop-off at range, especially with the special ammo. But it's pretty accurate. There's a nice head squish. How far are we now? 44 meters there. 42 meters. 98 for a chest shot there. Does make you bleed, so it will still go down. It should still go down anyway. See if we can aim a bit higher. 139. Went down the bleed. Ammo types for this. Frag arrows. These are my favourites. Nice big blast radius. Not very good at actually hitting the target directly necessarily, but it has a very quick drop. Do you notice that? I don't know the best way to demonstrate that, but if I aim at that guy there, and I aim at his head, you see it actually dropped between them. It actually dropped between. I can demonstrate that over this way as well. Let me jump up on here. And then aim at this guy. I'll aim at the back guy, at the head. See, that actually pretty much hit the front guy. So, it is a big difference. A couple of things left. We've got a hand crossbow, obviously, to look at. And we've also got a couple of rounds for this. So, this is the shot bolt. As you can imagine, getting hit with a shotgun round is quite painful. Trying to think about range here, so go all the way here, and then missed there, landed in front of him, so we need to adjust. So bit of a drop on this. Again, you see where it hit on the bags in front of him. So we definitely need to aim a bit higher. There we go. Beautiful. Very, very nice. So, the other thing to kind of mention with this is I believe it can penetrate stuff. This is a piece of metal. So it can't penetrate the metal, but I believe it can penetrate wood. I'm just pondering to myself, where is there a sheet of wood we can shoot a zombie through, or a mannequin in this case? I'm not sure if there are any set up. There's obviously that guy with the... Oh, there's this guy next to this. So we'll try this one. So he's right there. So I'm going to shoot the wood. Yeah. So if this hits wood, then it fires to the other side. You see? So that shot bolt goes straight through. You can see, there you go. So that's through two pieces of wood. It entered there, or hit there. The shotgun shell went off. And then all of those are the little pellets coming through, or the ball bearings. So pretty effective. The other one is just the steel bolt. I mean, there's not really much to say about it, is there? It's a steel bolt. It does what it says on the tin. Pretty good. Causes bleeding, as the normal bolts do. Trying to get a headshot. We went over his head. That's how good it is. Okay, I can't hit that guy. Can't hit, apparently, with this. How embarrassing. That was a chest shot. There we go. Headshot. It does work. But yeah, there's not much to say there. Let's switch to the hand crossbow. So the hand crossbow, I don't think it's worth showing off and stuff. So the chaos bolt just makes a noise. The choke bolt makes a smoke cloud, the same as the choke bombs do. That's pretty good. If you stand in the poison, it hurts. And the poison hangs around for a while. So the poison bolts aren't bad. You used to use them for killing some of the bosses. But I think they reduced the damage versus the bosses. I don't think it's as good as it used to be, but you can see the radius on it. I fired it at that one, and it's kind of dropped off, but it got the one in front instead. And then the other one I equipped here, because I think it's, well, it's the meme one, isn't it? It's the one that sets stuff on fire. So it kind of goes off more like it looks like a hellfire shell, but it sounds and goes off more like I'm throwing a firebomb. You know? It sounds a lot more like a firebomb, doesn't it? Now we're both burning and poisoning everyone. I think they're the two interesting ones for the hand crossbow. The other stuff's a bit basic. But there you go. Let's move on. Frag arrows. A little bit of a delay because it's a frag. Big drop. Do you see that dropped in front of the bags even though I aimed at the head? So this is where a little bit of aiming practice comes in. That hit him directly and exploded under his feet. So again, hit directly, went under his feet. A little bit of aiming practice when it comes to the bow. Great weapon, but you need a little bit of practice. Let's grab the poison. Poison is much more accurate, so it's more like a normal shot. We're getting headshots there, as you can see. Pretty accurate at range. We're not stressing out too much with that. We'll go across here, maybe hit this guy at the front. Pretty nice. If we keep going back, maybe hit that guy at the back there. Oh, we missed him. The range on the bow is pretty good. So a little bit of practice with it, and you can do some serious damage. Now what we don't have here are concertina ones, which I will go and grab quickly. Okay, so silly ammo central perhaps is the concertina arrow, and as you can see, does exactly what it says in the tin, puts concertina down. But I mean, it's, you know, beneficial for other things. So I want to block a doorway. I'll just block the doorway. I want to block a body. Then I can drop it on top of a body. There is a drop off, but, you know, you can actually fire it really, really far. So me see if I can get it over the other side. You'll see people do this in videos for memes, like seeing how far they can fire it and see if they hit anything. That's the advantage of the bow and arrow. You can actually fire pretty far, so... Problem is, I have no idea where that's going to land. Let's just try going a bit lower. There you go. See how far that went? And you can imagine how far the other one went. It's very hard to demonstrate, though, how far this can actually go. I'm trying to find a straight... It's kind of a straight path, but... I don't think we'll be able to see it land. No, it's gone too far in the distance. But you get the idea. I really like those. Just for the memes. What I also brought was the Bomblance. So the Bomblance is, again, a great weapon. So its standard ammunition is this one. You can use it as melee, which is its standard attack. Has 2 attacks, a swipe, which is cheaper on the stamina, or a big slash. Obviously, does a lot more damage to mobs than it does to people, because people have limited health. If we right-click, and then left-click... Explosive that goes into you. Pretty effective. Decent range on it as well. Does have a lot of drop, so you got to be careful and try and be accurate with it. It's not the most easy thing to aim at range. Some people manage it. I've been hit at range with one before. It hurts. And then this is the ball bearing shot, which is perhaps just a little bit more like a standard shotgun round. It was quite good when it was first added to the game because people weren't expecting it. You know, they see a Bomblance and then suddenly there's effectively a shotgun blast coming in your face. And it's pretty good at range. Let's hit that at the wall. See where we get to. 11 meters. Not bad, is it? And I mean, these balls are pretty big, so they hit hard. They're going to hit harder than a little pellet from a shotgun, I believe. See if we can get a 20 meters. Yeah, we're seeing 13, 16 in that range, so want to be closer than that. Nice weapon, if you can use it. I'm not very good with it. It is what it is. Okay, so that's kind of the fun ammo out of the way. Well, I was going to see... I can't have dragon... It's very specialized ammo for this. Let me hop back out and back in, and I will quickly show you the other ammo types. So, I've got the other 2 ammo types. So, we've got the flame one. As you can see, it's a lot like Dragon's Breath. I mean, it's a bit of a meme thing. It's not something I would overly recommend taking. And then the other one, if we switch the ammo, is explosive. So it's exactly the same as the standard ammo. The only difference is if I come out here, I can shoot it into the water and it will still explode. Of course, bearing in mind that it has a massive... It's quite good to mid that guy bleeds because of the fragmentation. There we go. It goes off in the water. That's the only real difference between that and the standard ammunition for this. So I also brought my Springfield Shorty because I wanted to show the other 2 ammo types that I think are worth showing, really. So incendiary just burns stuff when you're at a certain range. Pretty straightforward. Poison poisons people. Straightforward. High velocity, it just changes the velocity. Full metal jacket changes penetration, etc, etc. But Dum Dum makes you bleed. And I think, you know, just as a point to note, even if I get quite far away, I'll go up here on the top. and my damage is dropping off, that bleed can still kill someone pretty quickly. So we've got that guy there. How far away is he? 79 meters-ish. So I've only done 85, but he's still got a bleed on him of 12, 14, 14, 12. So it'll vary, but that's still a lot of bleeding damage. Obviously, the closer they are, the better the bleed. Once you get very far away... potentially hit them twice. Try and hit him. He went down. Explosive ammo. Not the best ammo in the game, I must admit. Obviously, a headshot still kills. Chest shot, not quite as exciting. Say 87 plus 31 explosive damage. He was already damaged. 32 explosive damage, but if you fire next to them, if I reload first, it helps. You know, I'm not hitting him, I'm just hitting next to him, so it is still an explosive. It will still do damage. So, you know, next to that guy, I'm hitting the wall, not him, but I'm still doing some damage. Obviously, the range is quite tight, so if you're not firing really close to them, you're not going to hit them for very much. Sometimes comes up in quests, not something I would actively take in a game. Because it's just, other than maybe a bit of a shock factor, I'm not really fond of that. But all the other ammo types, pretty straightforward, so I don't feel I need to show you those. So that is the point I will end this video. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Please do, as ever, like, share, subscribe. I hope this was helpful to someone, just as a quick reference to see what the ammo types are and what they look like, the more interesting ones at least. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all soon.